And what's going on, you guys? This is your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for the new episode of One on One, where we talk to 10 of our favorite content creators. Okay, we've already talked to Armand Wiggins, we've talked to the Scorpion Show, we've talked to Calvin Michaels, and the last one that we did, we talked to Miss Ashley Miller. Now, this one right here is with one of my favorite people, okay, in the whole wide world. She gets me, I get her. She from New Orleans, I'm from Mississippi, okay. We both do panels. She's been a part of one of my panels. It's just everything, honey. Okay, and she's been doing her thing, especially this year. She's been all over the place, and we're gonna get into that and all and more about her. Okay, so everybody should know who this is. So let's go ahead and bring her in. This is my girl, Bundy Blue.
Hi.
What's going on?
Nothing much, just chilling. Excited to be here. How you doing?
I'm like I told you before, I'm getting better. You know what I mean? So we all have our moments, we all have our days where we're not good, but there's always some light somewhere at the end of the tunnel. But before we get into anything, I do know that you was just in Ghana, right?
Yeah,
So let's tell me about that. How did that go?
that was amazing. I went with Reset by Design Wellness, which is a new company. And this was their very first retreat, and it was a follower of mine. She watched me for years, her and her daughter, and she presented me with, the option to promote for them, and I was like, I'll do it, if I could go. You let me go with y'all, and I ain't gotta pay for the situation, but I can go and I can get you people, and we can do that. So, it ended up working out, and we're already selling tickets for the next one, which is in Thailand in June. I think we only have like maybe 10 more spots left,
Hmm.
right now. But yeah, it's definitely, it's been dope to work with her and to have this opportunity to go to Ghana for the first time. It definitely gave me a lot of perspective. I absolutely appreciate being of African descent because I found out my African ancestry that was a part of the retreat. I found out I am a descendant of the Takar people from Cameroon, so that was dope. Um, and on top of that, you're kind of like grateful for being of African descent, but you're also very grateful being African American because we do have a comfort level that is not everybody else's comfort level. And no matter how things have taken place with us, getting over here, I feel like the light at the end of the tunnel is the fact that we live extremely comfortable, even at like base level, in comparison to how people may live over there in certain places. Because not every place is, dirt on the side of the street. Or, not every place is like that. But
Hmm.
just the overall quality of life here when it comes to amenities is better. When it comes to your electricity not just, going out. When it comes to having hot water, when it comes to being able to drink your tap water if you live somewhere where you can do that, because you can't do that everywhere, honey. You can't do that here. Um, you know, I'm not drinking New Orleans tap water, baby. I don't care what's going on. I have a refrigerator full of Fiji for a reason. I ain't got time. And not that I feel like I would get sick. I just don't. Like just I just don't. Um,
Right.
you know, but it's okay. It's okay if you do, you know what I mean? But I just don't. So that's why it was kind of like, this ain't no different than when I'm at home and I don't drink the damn tap. Well, I don't drink tap water at home. It's okay. But
Right.
we do have a better situation when it comes to like trash and getting rid of our waste. And they don't have that same type of situation. Their roads are and come from New Orleans, our streets is up, okay? Potholes, you up a tire, okay? There it take you about 10 minutes to get 2 blocks, depending on what street you on. You know what I'm saying? Some roads are paved, some are not. And it's really like, remember on Ace Ventura, he goes to Africa, he's in the car and he's doing all of this crazy shit. That's literally how you are in the car. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
it's just a lot. But it was still like this very beautiful experience. We went to the Elmina Slave Castle, which was insane to experience. Very somber. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not like overly emotional about those types of things because I already like understand and know some of the most fucked up things that have happened.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I can be there, I can be in the space, I can see it, I can feel the sadness of it, but I wasn't like distraught or anything because people get really upset when they hear some of the things that happen, especially when you go to the point of no return, which is like this very very small doorway that the slaves would go out onto the boats from, and it's the point where nobody's coming back to the continent. And so it's dope now that they do the year of the return in December, and everybody goes back to Africa. People from here, people from the Caribbean, they go back, and it's like a big party. And I'm like, I have got to go to that. But yeah, nah, I definitely have to go back. It was a great experience. I got to bring lyric. I definitely suggest anybody that is African American go. I feel like you need the perspective. Um, just because I feel like there's all of this, weird ass energy between African people and African American people, and you need to understand why that is. Like, just saying. So, great experience.
It sounds like it was a great experience. It sounds like a interesting experience too. Like, learning where you originated from, all that stuff. Like, because I sit here and I wonder about things like that. Like I'd be wondering about stuff like that. And it was already one thing when my mother did the ancestry thing and she was saying how our family was originated in Virginia or something like that. I'm like, how the hell we come from? You know what I'm saying? But it's always interesting when you go all the way back to the past and stuff like that. It's a very interesting type of thing.
It is.
So that sounds interesting. Um I had to start it off with that because I know that's you were doing that. So for most of us that know you, we know that you are from Louisiana.
Mhm.
And for those that are watching, how was your childhood like growing up in New Orleans? How would you describe that?
Uh, I would look at myself, and I just call it I'm a little New Orleans princess. That's what I. And and I say that because like my family is well known in the city for masking Indians. It was my grandfather and I masked, my aunt masked, my uncle who is world renowned for it. Both of my uncles, one uncle's name is Tootie Montana, and the other one's name is David Montana. We all grew up masking for the most part. I was really involved until my grandfather died in like 1996. So when I say I was a little princess, like I was. And when you mask
Mhm.
Indian, there's queen, there's they call it Lil Queen. They don't say princess, they say Lil Queen. You Lil Queen, and then you have your head or whatever, which is my grandfather at one time, and then my uncle.
Mhm.
They run their tribe. It's different now than it used to be back in the day. But growing up with that type of cultural environment, I had a ball. Like I had a tough childhood in ways because my dad was a disciplinarian to an extreme.
Mhm.
Um, and people on my channel, they've heard me talk about some of my experiences growing up, but I people thought I was spoiled because I was well taken care of, but I was not spoiled. I was extremely controlled. Um, and I was the pleaser of my household as far as like trying to make sure everybody's happy and entertaining people. And as long as I'm entertaining, then everybody's okay. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's happy. Like I can make my mom laugh. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of just grew up entertaining naturally. Like I think because I spent a lot of time alone as a kid. And when I say that, I mean like in my household, like you kind of just go in your room and you're by yourself. But when I was out, you know what I'm saying? Like then I'm a people person. I'm an extrovert when I'm out. And I had that experience, that dual experience growing up of being an extrovert, but then kind of being somebody that has stuff going on that a lot of people don't know, or it's so normalized that people don't see it for what it really is. Um, so yeah, that was kind of tough. Also, growing up, realizing I like girls at an early age was not the easiest thing for everybody to deal with. Because that was like a huge thing. I didn't really like. I mean, I was dating boys, like they were an issue. You know, a couple specifically were an issue, but ultimately it was, more so like getting me away from the girls. Um, so yeah, I had a interesting childhood growing up in New Orleans, but I was middle class and went to private schools and lived in a nice neighborhood and everything up until Katrina, and then we lost everything and we had to move to a totally different place, which was a culture shock. I'm used to being in New Orleans, which is so different from everywhere else in Louisiana. And living somewhere else in Louisiana is not living in New Orleans. And it was like everything was gone all at once.
Hmm.
I remember having to come back to our house to see everything once it was clear for us to do so. And we actually came back earlier because my sister was working for the news at the time and was able to get a lot of us in earlier on. And so we go to our house, and our house was like filled with 8 feet of water. So, my brand new bedspread, like my dad had just recently renovated our house, maybe like a year before. And so we had brand new wood floors. The doors were brand new, like a different wood. We had taken out all the carpet out. I mean, put brand new carpet in the bedrooms. Like he it just redone our house so nice. And we only maybe had, I want to say, a year to enjoy it before that happened. And we go back to the house, and now the wood's all buckled and you could barely walk. And all of my drawers are like the wood has swollen, so I can't open any drawers. Closet full of clothes, everything destroyed. The worst part was like I had a photo album with like all of my baby pictures, everything, pictures of everybody, everything was in this damn book. All of my costumes, everything. And that book was like next to my computer, but on the ground, and completely ruined. Nothing really was left except for like a few Polaroids. So that was devastating as fuck, to say the
Yeah.
least. So then, right after that, it's like you gotta continue senior year of high school. Like I said, culture shock, school full of white people that say the N word in New Orleans. You get dragged for shit like that. You're kind of outnumbered. There are only a few of us that were there from New Orleans. So, and then a lot of other people kind of treated us like, shit, like as outsiders. So we felt that. I was really depressed for a long time. I was in an abusive relationship with my girlfriend at the time. It was a lot. It was a lot. My teen years were a lot. So yeah, childhood was interesting enough.
I know it's not the exact same thing, but I definitely relate to you saying how you came back to your house and you pretty much lost everything. Because I know when it was like a week shy of my 11th birthday, and
Mhm.
my mother was pregnant with my baby brother, who's now 23. And we lost everything to a fire.
Mm.
So, and we were at home when it happened. Like it was like a dryer. The dryer pretty much exploded in a sense
Oh
while my
my
mother
god.
was in the house. And we heard her screaming, me and my sister, but we didn't really think nothing of it because my mother is dramatic as hell. She would scream about anything. I'm like, oh, we was like, oh, that's just her. We 9 and 10 years old. We not thinking. Then she ran out, big ass belly and all. The house is on fire. The house is on fire. And it happened so fast. And I think what she told us was she tried to put it out. But
Mm.
you can't really put out electrical fires with water. I think it
Yeah,
kind of
make it
makes it
worse.
worse. Yeah. So we had to stand there and watch everything like go up in flames. We had nothing but what we had on. So I understand that.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's such a crazy feeling. It's such a crazy feeling to lose everything like that. I don't even think you really, because you just have to keep going, so you don't
yeah.
really like sit with it. But because Katrina was something that happened to so many people, it was like constantly having to see it and deal with it, and that was a lot. But nah, a fire in front of my face, I don't know how I would have handled that.
Yeah, fire is something that I just don't really fuck with like that. Like I don't
I don't really
like
fuck with fire like that now,
yeah,
bro. I just
yeah.
can't. It's like
I don't like cigarette light. Like when people ask me the lights, I don't light stuff up for nobody. I don't like gas stoves because the fire comes out of it. Like
yeah,
I don't like candles. It's anything dealing with fire, I'm not fucking with it. Like I can't do it. Like I have a phobia of fire now. Like,
got you.
so yeah, so I understand where you're coming from when it comes down to that. So you said that you knew that you like girls at an early age. How
Hmm.
early?
Preschool.
Okay. Okay, so this is interesting to me. Okay, because I hear people say that they've been knowing that they like the same sex for a long time,
Hmm.
like when they was in elementary school and stuff like that. And sometimes people act as if they don't believe that that can happen, but it really can happen.
Hmm.
I think that I knew that I liked boys when I was maybe about 10, but it will be one of those things that'll go in and go out. But
Hmm.
when I was 14, it really dawned on me that I really like boys. And
Hmm.
the funniest thing is, I tell the story all the time and people laugh at me. Remember Ashanti's video? She had just came out this video. It was Rock With You when she was on
Hmm.
the beach.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you would think that as a 14-year-old boy, I would be paying more attention to her, but I was more so paying attention to the dude in the video with her. Like,
Got
I had a dream about him the first night I saw the video and everything.
God, them damn dreams used to be so real.
Right. And I'm like, I woke up the next morning like, was I supposed to, you know,
Not clutching the pearl.
you know what I'm saying? So how did you deal with that knowing it at a young age? Like, how did you deal with that and when did you act on it? If you
I
don't mind
hit
me
it. I hit it. I got caught kissing a girl when I was maybe like 11. I can remember like hunching on certain girls that I was friends with when I was younger. Of course, they aged out of it. I did not.
saying.
Um, it it okay. So I think I really figured it out because I had a crush on this girl that worked at the chicken place next to my mom's shop. And I literally ate chicken every day just because I wanted to go in there and see her. Like she was a stud, but she was like still feminine, which was always a thing for me.
Mhm.
I don't prefer women who don't uh they're not comfortable with being women. They really do want to be, more of a masculine energy. That's not my type. I like girls or women that know that they're women, even if they are more androgynous in the way that they present. I just don't like that shit. So like, she wasn't like that. She was kind of like girly in the way she would talk, but she had a fade. And she was very pretty, like all face, really pretty teeth, super sweet. I had the hugest crush on her. And so I would just go to Good Chicken all the time. And I think that's when I really like understood what was happening. And then I went to
Mhm.
an all girls school. And that really put shit into perspective for me. And that's when I realized, people will say, oh, you send your kids to these all girls school, all boys schools, and they be gay. It's like those kids were already going to be gay. They just kind of come to the conclusion at that time. And then to me, this is also the time where people are figuring shit out, especially girls are figuring shit out during this time. So they experimented a lot more, and then a lot of, women that got kids and, they're with men now. But when we were in high school, I'm sure they remember eating some girl out. So that's why, like, I know for sure that sexuality is way more fluid than people would like to admit. So, it's just funny to me nowadays when we talk about certain people on these reality shows, and I'm just like, it's fucking gay. I don't want to admit it to ourselves, but they're fucking gay. Like, and everybody's like, Bondi, everybody's not gay, and I'm like, nah, not everybody, but most. Like, when it comes to the women, like, how many of y'all are watching girl on girl porn? Like, talk to me. Oh, because you haven't acted on it. Got you. You still
Oh
turned
my
on by
god.
it. Yeah, I mean, you're still turned on by it. And there's nothing wrong with this, but stop being so fucking like delusional sometimes and thinking that everybody wants you to be gay. versus the fact that y'all just try to act like sexuality are these hard lines, and they aren't.
Okay, so let's get okay. So we got into your life growing up in New Orleans. You figuring out your sexuality at a young age. So let's go into your adulthood.
Yeah.
So, what made you get into YouTube? Because I think we started around the same time. So,
Mhm.
how did you get into YouTube, and who were you watching? First of all, were you watching anybody before you started, and who were you watching? And was there anyone who kind of gave you that inspiration to want to do it?
Okay. So an ex-boyfriend of mine is the first person to like put YouTube in front of my face and say you should do this. And after he said it, it stuck with me for a long time. And I
Mhm.
kind of was like, I want to do it. I want to do it. I think I might have been watching Spoken Reasons around that
I
time.
used
I
to love
feel
him.
like I used to watch the Between Women TV show. Like I used to like, like a lot of TV shows and stuff that they were putting out at the time on YouTube, and that's what really drew me to YouTube, like, Black and Sexy TV, and what was the other one besides Between Women TV? It was another one, and it was just so fucking ratchet. When they changed the Channing character, I was just like, no, y'all did not change the character. Like I can't live, like nah. So what was that? I forgot. Oh my god, I'm so mad that I forgot. But it was like a all gay girl cast or whatever. But yeah, so I would watch those shows, and then I would want to do like commentary. And then I was working at the news station at the time, and I was just so bogged down by all of the serious traumatic shit that I was covering. We have a lot of murders, a lot of shootings, a lot of fucked up stuff happens in New Orleans. So
Mhm.
essentially, that on top of the fact that we had entered into the Trump era, I was a little, we were entering into the Trump era anyway. I was really exhausted, you know. So 2000, I think what it was like late 2010, early 2011, I finally decided to go ahead and do it. Um, Especially once one of the anchors, God rest her soul, Nancy Parker, told me that I should, because everybody, like, I'm like this all the time. Like I'm this person all the time. So
Mhm.
everybody knows that I should be an entertainer, basically. So they're like, nah, you should do it, you should do it. And so I did. I did. And here we are, like 12 years later, something like that.
It is so crazy how we still around. Imma ask you that
Because a
towards
lot of
the
people
end
are
of
not.
this because a lot of people are not, okay? Um, so when you got into YouTube and you started doing it, did you ever believe that you would still be here 12 years later and have 100,000 subs and interviewing these different people and having the influence that you have? Because I don't think you know that you have. I said the same thing to Ashley. I don't think you guys know that you guys got some kind of influence. Like you do influence other people. Like I don't think you
Yeah.
guys really know that.
Ashley greatly influenced me. I didn't find Ashley until I had already started, but I started to
Mhm.
watch her, and she was the first person to shout me out.
Mhm.
And I got my first 1,000 subscribers from her. So shout out to Ashley. But Ashley and Roxanne and Sweet Addictions TV and Miss PTV and much love from KY, Nina, um, you know, eh, everybody, everybody. Like it was just kind of like we kind of clicked up within like the first, I think, 3 years of me doing YouTube for real, for real. But I was still, working my job, so I felt like I couldn't even give it as much attention as um I could. You know what I mean? It took me a minute to let go of my legit job, my real job, in my mind. And when I finally was at that place to let it go and focus only on YouTube, that's when I started to really feel like it was going somewhere. Even though I knew it was something, I mean, I always knew it was something. I had met Kiki Wyatt and Selena Johnson and Music Soul Child knew who I was. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'd had my moments that let me
Right.
know that this was something that I should keep doing and something that I was good at. Um, but it really has been since I quit my job, like these what I ain't past what 5 years. 4 years,
Mhm.
something like that. Really 4 years. That has shown me how big it could get, how big it's going to get, how big it is getting. I don't think I really understand my influence on people as much. And I'm glad I don't. I like to be in my bubble. I don't, you know what I mean? Like I feel like once you really like recognize, then you kind of get caught up. And I'm not trying to get caught up. I'm just trying to do my thing, which I really enjoy, and make my money and go on about my business. Like get my beach house, chill with my people. Like I'm not. I don't need to be like big, big, big in this. But I do feel like I'm well respected. And so with that, I feel like I'll get where I need to be. But yeah, I definitely thought that I would be this person. I just didn't know how I would be this person.
Right. Okay. What was your favorite show to review back then? Because I think we had better shows back then to
We
review.
did.
So,
Ooh,
what was
that's
your
easy
favorite show
though.
to review?
That's so easy.
Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
No,
What
no,
was it?
Mob Wives.
You like that?
Mob Wives.
Oh my god, I did not know that was your favorite one to review.
Oh
But
my
you know what?
God.
I used to review that too. The first 2 or 3 seasons I
Mhm.
reviewed it, but I don't know why I stopped. But I did.
Because it
But you
wasn't as
kept
good
going.
anymore. Like
Yeah,
once Karen had got her seat, once Karen was there for like season 2 or 3, it was done. But like before we found out that Drita was full of shit and couldn't really fight, we was just like glued into this shit, right?
right.
And I used to enjoy it so much because I was able to act out their different voices. You know what I'm
You
saying?
were.
I used to do Big Ange really well. You know what I'm saying? With the little popo. I used to do her really well. I mean, shit. Even like Renee, like I can't even remember how I used to do Renee. Like everybody has like that raspy voice over there, but they just have a little bit more of a, you know. But like I enjoyed that show so much because it wasn't a lot of like men involved as much. Like they were
Hmm.
all like love after lockup and shit. But for the most part, it was really about them and their dynamic with each other. And because they were like mob bosses and shit, they just had like personalities that were insane to this day. Them first few seasons of that show, bruh, epic, epic shit. But yeah, that was my favorite back
You
in the
know
day.
what? I would say that Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the first 3 seasons were my favorite to review, but I actually really enjoy reviewing R&B divas. I used to love
Yes,
reviewing it. Like,
no,
oh
for
my
real.
god.
They were so fun. I mean, shit, that was the one that I had gotten like the most recognition off of doing.
Yeah.
Johnson and I connected. Shout out to her. Child, Kiki Wyatt hit me in the face with a ponytail, and I swear to God, it took everything in me not to snatch that fucking ponytail off her head. I was like, Brittany, don't do it. I know she did it on purpose, but I was like, I probably said some shit you ain't like, so I'm gonna let this rock. But when I tell you, I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? But it's cool though. It's cool though. Kiki's cool. She crazy as hell, but she cool.
Okay, so there was a time where as you continued on with your YouTube channel and you got more recognition, more subscribers, I remember when I first did, me and Jamar was doing the prelude, well, we still do the prelude at the time. We was in the beginning stages, and we did this big ass panel with us two,
Hmm.
Jamar, Kevin and Candy and Ashley. And we called it the OG panel. And Rocks don't really like to do live, so that's why she wasn't there. So that particular moment in time and the way that people reacted to that, it was really everything to me. Because like, how does it feel to be now known as like a vet in this, like a YouTube OG? Because people be calling me that now, and it's so weird.
That's what I said. That's what I meant when I said well respected. I feel
Yeah.
like it's respect. And I'm good with that. Like I have been doing this for a long time, and I haven't always gotten the recognition that I feel I deserve for what I put into this. And that's cool though. You know what I'm saying? Because it's about quality, not quantity for me.
Hmm.
And I've had people, fucking with me for a long time, and that has been more valuable to me. in this space. But I'll say, like, I feel good about being an OG in this, especially because, Tisha Campbell, bitch, I'm still here. Like, I was still, I was still here, and I'm still growing, and I'm still doing well. And so for me, like, it's great to still be here after all of this time, because there are a lot of people, we were talking about spoken reasons, like, that disappeared, had whatever the fuck they had going on, lost access to their channels. All kind of stuff has happened to people over the years where they was popping when we first got on here, and we was barely hitting 10K. And
Right.
everybody's here with like a million fucking subscribers and shit, giving like bare minimum content. And those people are gone, and there are some people that are here now, new people and all of that, and that's great. But to still be here after all of this time with the ups and downs of YouTube, still being monetized, yeah. After losing my channel, hell yeah, like, I feel great about it.
I feel the same way, and I think that just correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of us from the era that we came from, we are now getting our just due
Yeah,
now. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Because I even said that when me and Kevin did one on one a couple of weeks ago. He hated when I say it, but I remember when I was talking to him about it on there, and I was like, there was a time where I used to be like, it was Kevin and Mikhail, and then there was Ashley, there was Bundy, there was Rox. And I said, and me and Jamar was in that same realm, but to me, we were more playing more so in the background, so to speak.
Mhm.
We really wasn't in the forefront, really. We was more so in the background. I was like, y'all's the leads and we was in the background too, back then. He was like, don't you say that you was there with us. I said, we got to be honest. Back then, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And
Mhm.
I said, like, Ashley and Bundy and Rox, they would always be on my ass. Much love. All y'all would be on my ass. And I really didn't get it until the pandemic started.
Mhm.
That's when I really started to see the difference. So it was like, so now I'm in the same conversation as y'all now, which makes me feel good because I'm in conversation with y'all. But it's just like it's different now. And I said, like, a lot of us from back then, we're now getting our just due from where we didn't get it back then, but now we're getting it as we get older and we grow. So that's a good thing. Did you ever think that you would be here for 12 over 10 years?
Yeah, I did. As long as it was here, I was gonna be here. So that's how I felt.
Yeah. See, I didn't think I was gonna be here this long.
I enjoy it so much. Um,
Yeah.
I enjoy it. So I always felt like it was something that was a way for me to, be the artist that I am in one way or another. Bitch got a lot of talent. This was something else to add to the repertoire. Just the thing that
Right.
the most successful at. But, I have been in acting and singing and dancing and, all of those things, and being in production and photography, writing, doing all of those things my entire life in one form or another, and I'm trying to get back into the space where I'm kind of reaching for all of those things, especially now that I have an audience that wants to hear whatever I come up with. You know what I mean? And I love it. I love it. I think it's amazing. I think it's better than I could have thought that it would it it's better than I thought it would be,
Hmm.
when I was younger. Because when I was
Yeah.
younger, I would just know I was gonna be famous. That's all I knew. I didn't know what that would look like, and based on what it looked like back then, I felt like I had lost it. You know what I'm saying? I had lost the opportunity to be a big actress or a singer, which are the things that I had been training to do my whole childhood. I was always in plays. I was, always in some. Even in college, I paid for my own vocal coaching for years, just because I was so used to having some type of performative way of, being artistic. So being creative. So I found this as another way to do that, and then I was successful at it. It may not have grown as quickly or as large as I would have liked, as soon as I would have liked, but it's been consistently growing. And along the way, I feel like I've always been getting these signs that I should keep going. And this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And now it's turned into me like helping people in a way that I never imagined. Like
Mm.
people having, being sick and watching me and feeling better, or now me saying shit to people that awakens something in them that gives them a different perspective that, makes their life better in some way. At this point, I feel like I'm walking in my path in a way that a lot of other people don't get to experience. And
Hmm.
so I'm very grateful for how this has flourished for me over the years.
Okay, because when I get those messages as well, like I don't be knowing how to really how to take that sometimes, because I could be going through, like, this week has been a tough week.
Mhm.
So I could be in the worst space getting on camera, but I'm helping someone else out of their dark
Your life,
space.
your
Yeah.
life. And you have
So
to remind yourself of that when you do get in that space, and you
mhm,
have to find ways to move the energy. Like, for instance, and I'm gonna use this as an example,
mhm,
but when I get aggravated and pissed off about shit I see online, because I'm like, y'all are ruining the fucking world. Like, that's how frustrated I be getting with people. Like, y'all are ruining the fucking world. I get frustrated. So what
mhm.
do? I get up and I make content. And then after I make the content, it's like I let shit off. Now I'm done with it. I don't feel the same. I feel lighter now. And so with that, you gotta learn sometimes like how to transmute that negative energy in this space, because it helps you. It gives you a little bit more of an If you aggravated about something, you know what I'm saying? You got a little bit more to get through whatever you gotta talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that you gotta look at those moments sometimes where I know I'm in this low moment, but I can use it. You know what I'm saying? And know that you are a light. And when you are one and you really recognize that about yourself, it gets easier to receive what people are saying to you and how you positively affect them.
How have you ever been? Well, I know at this point you have, but how does it feel when you get noticed out in public? Because over the last year I've seen it a lot more for me when I'm out of the state. When I'm going to Atlanta, I remember when I was flying to Detroit, and I had a layover in Chicago, and the flight attendant was like, I said yes. This Scotty. Can I take a picture with you? Sure, why not?
I
Jamar
love
and
it.
I went to the K Michelle concert. Two
Mhm.
girls recognized us. One of them damn near hyperventilated when they saw us. I was just like, girl, what? So how do you take that? 'Cause I'm
I
still getting
love
used to
it.
that.
I love it. I love it. I ain't gonna front on nobody. I love that shit. And I'm always like excited about it. I'm always humbled by it. Like motherfuckers is really excited to see me. Like,
Yeah,
like,
me of all people.
I'm saying? Like me of all people. But now, like, the more it happens now, the more it's just like something I will sometimes expect. And I still feel the same. I'm still always excited. I'm still always shocked on some level. Always really grateful and humbled by the fact that people, get excited to see me. I want people to know that I appreciate them loving me, or really enjoying my content. Like, I want them to know that that's appreciated when they ever meet me in person. So I'm just always in a mindset of making sure that they feel received.
I feel that way too, because I remember one day I was at work, and that's crazy too, because so many people come in my job now and they know me from YouTube, which is so weird because I be thinking nobody here pays me any attention. So
Mm.
I was at work and I was having I'm always having a bad day at work because I hate the job. So I was at work and this lady, it was just the other day, this lady was like, "Hey, Scotty by nature." I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, "Oh my God." She was like, "Don't act like that. I watch your videos all the time. I don't even know why you still working here. You need to get out of here." I hear that every time I see somebody that see me on YouTube. They tell me to leave my job every single time. And I'm gonna take them up on that, but that's
I'm
another.
about to say, how many times you need to hear the Lord talking to you?
But
Listen, I was like, God's trying to tell you something, sir.
it is. Trust me. That's another conversation for us to have at another time. But so we're about to go ahead and get into the panel. So
Mhm.
you was one of the originals of the Whether You Like It or Not panel, and then you, Jamie, and Nisi, and Jay Lee, y'all started the Ooh Ladies first panel. And I remember when y'all first came up with the idea, because you know what, some people be thinking that we all fell out and that's why y'all left and stuff like that, which is so funny to
That's,
me.
that's not what
But
happened.
that is not what happened. But I remember you guys started that panel because y'all wanted to talk about
The
shit like
show,
the
yeah,
other show.
it was the show on Lifetime, Married at First Sight,
Yeah,
and that
y'all
was
wanted to talk about
like,
Married at First Sight,
yeah,
Ready to Love, or something too.
yeah, it was shows that we didn't cover on our panel with you.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, well, maybe, we should talk about these topics on this day. And then it became, okay, well, what if we just do it for for the ladies or whatever? And, from there it grew. But we always, you know, acknowledge that Scotty is the one that brought us together, because we probably would not have met or even started our panel at all if we were not on yours first. So, we always appreciate you for that, because those are my, what I'm saying, those are my girls. Jamie and Nisi are my real friends, in real life. And,
Right.
I really love them, and I'm appreciative of my relationship, business and personal, with them, especially because in this space, it's important to have people that understand what you're going through, because
Mm-hmm.
people in real life don't really understand the stressors of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So, we talk about this all the time. Our partners don't always get it. They're like, they think we're overreacting, or we don't, or we're just letting shit get to us. It's like, no, you really have to be in this space to kind of get the frustrations that we feel, and how it's not always that easy. You're not always having a day where you can ignore somebody coming at you sideways. You're not always in the mood for, YouTube to be flagging, your umpteenth fucking live for the day. Like, it's not it's not always the easiest thing to manage, because
Mm-hmm.
it is so, up in the air. So, I yeah, the panel was a lot though. The panel was a lot. Doing both became a lot.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, yeah. And then, I mean, even now we try not to be on live that fucking long. And it's like, that's why we try to keep it to just us three, because we know the more people, the longer the fucking live.
Right.
And I'm old now, and I be tired. And I be wanting to go eat. That's why I be eating on live sometimes, because bitch, I'm not about to starve. Y'all will be okay. Remind me to mute myself so I'm not chewing in y'all ear. But we gonna get this video done, okay?
Right.
But I'm gonna
Exactly.
eat.
Exactly. Like, did y'all know that it was gonna turn out to be what it is though? Did y'all know that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Especially once it became three of us, then I think I really understood what it was gonna do. Even though we had done a lot of our interviews already, it is no disrespect and it's no shade or nothing like that. But once it became the three of us, it just kind of, I think, gelled a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we decided to, Destiny Child 3 it out this motherfucker and not get another person, because once it was just the three of us, it kind of felt like this feels like it works better. And people for a long time were like, oh, y'all should bring this person on. Y'all should, uh, we'll do interviews, we'll do cute little things, people from time to time. But once you get like a gel with the way this workflow goes, and everybody can do what they need to do, and
Right.
just kind of, you have your day where it's for you and you worry about what you got to worry about, and then the other day, you got other people that can handle the workflow. And it was always all four of us being able to handle the workflow. But eventually it just became a lot for Jay Lee to continue to do, on top of what she was going through. Like, she had just had a really bad bout of COVID, and she was also trying to do her own thing on her own channel. So it just didn't gel as much as with Niecy and Jamie. Jamie became way more laser focused about YouTube around that time. And Niecy still has her other job. So she really only does a couple of videos a month, and then she does the panel. That's the thing she's consistent with. So, it just kind of just worked out a little bit better in that format. But we still everybody's still cool. It's still copacetic. I still follow Jay Lee. I have talked to her since. I wish her all the best at everything. You know what I'm saying? It's no bad blood. I know a lot of people wanted it to be. I know a lot of people wanted to blame me and be like, "Oh, it was Bondi," because they was always getting into it. It was like it was not like that. It was not even about anything like that. It was just about how much work everybody could manage with us doing a lot of interviews at that time, and it just was a lot.
I will say that I understand what you mean because I would say that by you guys rotating the panel, that kind of gave me the idea to do the same with the Whether You Like It or Not panel because I got sick of being the only one hosting it.
It's tiring.
Like I
It's
was
tiring.
tired of doing that by myself. Like I'm not gonna lie, and everybody gets to get paid. So
Yes.
I didn't want it to look like I'm trying to take up everything and just be the one to get all the recognition. I was like, no, and
I
that was
think you just started out doing it a certain way because that's just how you was
that's
doing it.
how
You know
yeah,
what I'm
because
saying?
it wasn't even supposed to be a thing. Like
Right.
it was only supposed to be like a one-off, and then everybody
And
loved us together.
And then it was new, like,
Yeah, it was
we couldn't
new.
do that. We didn't have the technology to do
Hmm.
that before the pandemic, so it was still all very new with the panels. It was like everybody was doing a fucking panel at some point,
Right.
and so, I think that it's really about personalities and people being able to gel together, and, for us, specifically, I think it's us being able to put on a good show.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we definitely bring to the table, as far as our panel. And I hope it will continue to grow. I want us to start doing live shows. We've been talking about it. But Jamie is anticipating and it's a
Yeah.
lot going on. Niecy just got married last year. They just moved into a brand new house. She just got a new job. So everybody's like, everybody has so much stuff going on that it just isn't feasible at the moment. But, we're definitely going to, I think continue to push this brand for the ULadies First panel, and see how far we could take it.
And y'all are and I feel like y'all are an inspiration. I know you like to give me credit for how it began, but with the way that y'all continue to grow, it does, give me a lot of inspiration to come with a different look. Come, don't be the same, because if you stay the same all the time, it's gonna get stagnant and things like that. Because like I will say this, Josiah is my saving grace for everything. Okay.
Shout out to
One
Josiah.
thing that I will say that came out of that, whether you like it or not, panel was as everybody know, me and you have always been cool. We just ain't got the chance to meet up yet, which I can't wait till that
I
fucking
know,
happens. Cause we're
I
gonna be
know.
lit when we do come
Oh
together.
well, I mean, I should be in Atlanta in April.
Oh, I'm probably gonna be there in April too.
Okay,
I'm gonna
then
tell you why later on.
yeah, I think it might be the same thing. I think we might be there for the same thing.
It might be the same thing.
It
we
might be
go.
the
I'm
same
gonna
thing.
ask you when I end this, but
Okay.
but um, but yeah, like Josiah is like a creative force. Like there's some
Mhm.
things that he can do that I can't do. So if
Yeah.
like say for instance, I have an idea, he'll put it together, and that's how we come up with it now. So he's like a big creative person, and I'm a creative person. I just can't seem to put it out like he can. So I'll be like, Josiah, I need
Come
this.
on,
Can you
help.
do it like that? And then
Come
he'd be
on,
like,
help.
yeah, yeah,
I love that.
so that's how it is, and it doesn't help that us doing that panel, we got to be very close. As y'all can see, we
Yeah.
always together all the time. So that made it better. And I think that's what makes a good working relationship when you're able to have real friendships out of that. Because people be surprised to know that all of us are really cool like that. Because I know
Yeah.
that when I went to Jamie baby shower last weekend, they were like, y'all that cool? Yeah. Like, why is that a surprise?
Shout
But
out to Amy because she's we'll say our Josiah when it comes to that type of stuff, the graphics and everything. Like she does the best. She did our new intro, like all of our graphics for the most part. Jamie does herself. So like shout out to Jamie. I love Jamie. It's so funny because people really thought we was gonna beef, and like that's my girl.
right. Okay. So but they wanted it to happen when we were talking about season 5 of Potomac when we first started the Whether You Like It or Not
Yeah,
panel.
they want
That shit was crazy. They wanted y'all to fight so bad. But but okay, so we got 10 more minutes. So I want to say this. How did it feel last year when you and the Ladies first panel and me and Jamar, we all got to interview Candy Burrs at the same time? How
God.
did that feel? Because
I thought that was
I
great.
love that.
I
I
was
love
so happy. First of all, I didn't even know she had hit us up until I saw yours, and until I saw you advertising for yours, and I was just like, "Now, Don Juan, I told you to hit me up when y'all started doing these," and Don Juan was like, "Let me ask Jamie," and Jamie was the one that hit me up, and me and Don Juan had been talking in the DMs, but Jamie hit me up in my email, and for some reason her emails was not showing up in my main folder for the longest, but now we
it.
um, so shout out to Jamie, House of Glam. But yeah, no, I thought that was so dope for us, especially after how long we've been doing this, how long we've been in the game, and to be recognized at that time, together, because of Candy, who we both love, because we are the R&B, you know what I'm saying? We are the R&B
Right.
people, okay? Like if anybody loves 90s R&B, it is us, okay?
Period.
So listen. So this is why, like, I knew how excited you were, and I could feel that as well because I know how much we love us some, like, some candy, some R&B candy girl.
Right.
But
So, with all the things that you've been able to do over the last 3 years, what
mhm.
is the thing that you are the most proud of?
Hmm. The thing I am most proud of is not any one thing specifically, but I think it's my ability to continue to grow and be authentic.
Hmm.
It's not easy to be authentic in this space. People people are fake a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm not with the shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't like mess. I don't like none of that shit. But and
Hmm.
I'll duck and dodge that shit at all costs. But you'll never get fake from me. You'll never get fake from me. Okay. Um, and I think I've been able to retain my authenticity without being clickbaity, without, talking about shit that I don't sometimes want to talk about. Like I've had stories first and did not break them because I don't want to. I don't want to be the person to break the story. I just want to give my commentary. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I want to give my perspective on the situation, but I don't need to break it. I'm not the news. And that was the attitude I had because I came from the news. So that's not the vibe I wanted to be in this space. And I think even though it's kind of been like a slow and steady wins the race type of situation, I'm grateful for it because I like being able to still be at peace with myself in this space and make decisions for me, but also, make decisions for me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Versus doing it for other people or what they want me to do or how they want me to be or what they want me to say, how they want me to sound, because everybody's always telling you what they want from you. Even though they asses couldn't get up here and do it themselves, they always telling you about how you're not
Hello.
doing it right. So, the ability to ignore the noise, take what, was good, take the constructive criticism, be better, grow, branch out, all of those things. Now doing the retreats and stuff like that, that's me branching out. The experience I had bringing those amazing women together, having that experience with them. Um, I have to say, like, the whole experience, the whole experience has been my favorite part. But really, me remaining myself within it.
Yeah, you're right about the whole authenticity thing because sometimes it can be a little bit of pressure when you're doing this and then you're constantly getting criticized for just being who you are. And
Mhm.
we all have character flaws. I still try to work through mine. I admit what mine are. So no one is perfect. And sometimes when you're getting on here and you're giving your opinion, and it may not be one that everybody agrees with, but then, sometimes you get judged. And I know for me, I know that for me, as hard as I am, I could be soft as damn cotton balls sometimes because it's a lot of things that have been said to me that are kind of fucked up, and then I find myself like, well, maybe they're right.
Internalizing it.
Yeah, maybe because maybe they're right because I remember, like you said, you duck and dodge the drama thing. I do the same thing too. I remember somebody had made like several videos about me before, and I didn't even know them. And Scotty by nature is boring, and he this, he that, and I'm just like,
You made content about me and I'm boring? Wow.
Yeah, right.
Thanks.
And I'm like, but then I started playing into the shit like, "Mm, maybe I am boring then." Then I found myself wondering if what I'm doing is good or if it's not. But then I'm like, why am I worried about what somebody else is saying? Like, I do my content the way I want to do it, and it's obviously working for me. So,
Yeah.
I also take into account that everybody isn't gonna like everything you do. I know I came
Right.
into this back in 2010 thinking that everybody was gonna love me just because most people do. In my real life, everybody's gonna love me, but everybody's not gonna see it for you. That's the biggest thing, and that's one of the things that I tell like the newer YouTubers that are up and coming, and they reach out to me and they ask me for advice, and I'm like, you just got to take into account that everybody ain't gonna like you. Everybody's not gonna like you, and it sucks, but that's the truth. Like,
It is. But and I'm gonna say this, like that's one of the things that I appreciate about Tasha K. Because I've started to work with her a lot more recently. And one of the things I learned from her is that it don't matter how much a motherfucker don't like you. If you supposed to make it to a certain level, if you supposed to prosper at something and you stay consistent, it's gonna happen whether they like your ass or not. Because people stay, oh, I can't stand Tasha. Oh, I can't stand her. They talk that shit, but her lives be full. It's still 100,000 people, plus under them views. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
And so what that taught me was that even motherfuckers they hate, they watch. So do your thing, however you want to do your thing. It's art in real life. It's art. So you know what that means? You mean you do it and then you be done with it. If they like it, great. If they don't, fuck them. But you still get watched. You still getting watched.
That is true. Now, before we go,
Mhm.
I know I said this to you before, but I don't know what made you want to do this, but that now that we're grown series is probably like the best shit I have ever seen on YouTube. Like I
Thank you.
love that shit right there. And it's because it's so funny to me because a lot of the times me and my friends have these same conversations about these same movies. Like I believe one of the first ones you did was Soul Food. That's the one we
Yes.
have the most conversation about. And I remember when we were growing up, we thought that Terry was a bitch, but then when we got older, we began to see that
Yeah,
we
it's
were
not her.
Terry.
It's everybody. It's everybody else. Like Maxine, you ain't paying for shit. Why you telling me what we gonna do?
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, don't get me
I was
upset. Yes.
like, I was like, why everybody so mad? Okay, yeah, cousin Faith was wrong for fucking Terry husband, but why everybody still cool with Maxine and she married Terry man? Like had a
Like,
whole family with her.
and then they be laughing when she rubbing it in her face and shit. Like, even the Mama Joe character was fucked up, rubbing that shit in Terry's face. Meanwhile, Terry paying for everything, always taking care of everybody. That's fucked up.
It
Listen,
was. It
but
was.
I appreciate that. Nah, I love that y'all love it because it's literally like one of my when I say like some of my best work in the time frame that I've been on YouTube, it really is some of my best work. So for Thanksgiving, I'm probably going to like re-premiere them throughout the day, like have them rolling one after one, Soul Food, Color Purple, a few other ones that I think will, really blend with the day. And then I'm gonna be working on my next one, which is gonna be this Christmas. So,
Okay.
that'll be dope, and I can't wait for everybody to see it.
Well, before we go, I'm gonna say this. And you had liked the post when I made it before, but the people had asked for a roast and review, which is me, T, and Josiah, and a Ooh Ladies First mashup. I don't
Mm.
know what the hell we would talk about, but I think that is a good idea. And we could probably pre-record it and everybody post it on their own platforms if we did that. So everybody can get some from it.
Okay.
But
That's
I
something to
don't
think about.
but I don't know what we will be doing. I don't know what we
And
will be
that's like 6 people that have to orchestrate being able to do it all at one time.
right. As
Yeah.
much of a good idea as that is, you have to take it. I be telling people I would love to do it. I think everybody would, but we also have to take into account, okay, whose schedule is gonna be like this? Is this person gonna be available? You know what I mean?
And I think maybe you should make it kinda like a game show type of situation, you know what I'm saying? Or
Mm,
like maybe like who knows which show the best, and you gotta
that's a good
like,
idea.
you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta hurry up and, which team is gonna know the tea about whatever the topic is. That might be dope.
Because I know I'm
Mhm.
gonna talk to Josiah later. I'm gonna put that in his ear.
Put that in the too.
I'm gonna put that in his ear. That's a good idea. But anyways, first of all, thank you once again for this. You know, I love me some you, and I appreciate you doing this, of course. And
No problem.
I hope those of you that are watching enjoyed it the same way that I did, because this is just like the interview, not really interview, but this is just like the conversation I had with Ashley. It just flowed. Like it didn't feel like it was work or interview. It just flowed. Probably because I know them already. So it flowed. But anyways, you guys, we're up out of here. And until the next one-on-one, because I don't know who the hell gonna be next right now. But until the next one-on-one, I will see you then. Bye, y'all.